Hello darlings, I hope you've been well. Also, I hope you had a good new year. BPD and emotional intelligence. How our hypersensitivity makes us sensitive to picking up other people's emotions. What is emotional intelligence? This is a controversial debate, and I don't think there should be any questions about it. I think it's quite simple. Due to the stigmas of BPD, people think we have a lack of empathy. The reality is quite simply we have too much. We are hypersensitive. This video isn't going to be just my opinion, it's going to be based on scientific facts. I've done a lot of research. I'll put some links to some studies. Psychiatrist doctor on YouTube, Dr. Todd Grande. I'll link his video below because he did a great video on it too, and like he's an icon. Oh yeah, also I dyed my hair, so that's fun. So what is BPD? I like to sum it up and just say it's an emotional intensity disorder, and we have heightened emotions, but also it's like all of these symptoms too. I only need 5 out of the 9 symptoms to get a diagnosis, so not everyone with BPD has every single trait there is. So, for example, someone with quiet BPD might not experience explosive anger. And there are multiple ways each symptom can be expressed. So not everyone with BPD is alike. A lot of us, and I'd even say most of us, are very empathetic, helpful, very generous, and I do believe our generosity can be exploited at times. What is emotional intelligence? To have emotional intelligence, you have to be able to perceive emotions, identify emotions, express emotions, access emotions, and understand emotions, and regulate emotions. So, I'm not saying everyone with BPD has emotional intelligence. I have met a few people who definitely don't have it, but I'd say a lot of us do. So we have a strong ability to pick up other people's emotions, and even higher than other people, because we can perceive people's facial expressions and we can pick up other people's emotions to the point that we pick them up and we take them for ourselves. So for example, our friend's really sad, they're crying, so we start crying. We feel exactly what they're feeling. I think to understand our emotions, DBT can help. We feel more emotions basically, and more regularly, more rapidly than the person without BPD, so we kind of are forced to sit with our emotions, understand our emotions, access our emotions, identify them. Expressing them can be hard, I think, but that comes with like learning. The only thing people with BPD don't have when it comes to emotional intelligence is regulating our emotions. Regulating our emotions can feel impossible at times. A study, which I'll like put up information about where it was done and everything, would show that scores on the ability to perceive emotions and impairments in the ability to regulate emotions are different to those without it. So we are more able to perceive and pick up other people's emotions, yet sometimes regulating our own emotions can feel impossible. So many people with BPD identify with the trait of being an empath and being hyper empathetic. So for example, we will watch a video of a dog being rescued and crying, we can't stop crying. So empathy is like broadly defined as the way we react to one another, and it explains how we conduct ourselves in this world. An empath is extremely sensitive to emotions and energies of other people, animals and places. Basically, psychologists have found that excessive high empathy levels has the following repercussion. Basically, people with BPD have excessive empathy. Most of us, I'm not generalizing here, like I'm saying just like a lot of us. An intense sharing of other people's negative emotions. It's linked to emotional disorders. Excessive empathy is literally linked to BPD and emotional disorders. It's scientifically like a fact. Excessive empathy is linked to emotional disorders, and that's what BPD is. It's literally emotional intensity disorder. Empathetic distress is often framed as compassion fatigue. So in this study I found people with BPD show a heightened sensitivity to non-verbal cues. People with BPD were reacting to photos with people's eyes, and people without BPD were doing the same. And researchers found that the BPD group were more able to correctly guess what emotions those eyes expressed, which showed their enhanced sensitivity to the mental states of others. So I've always thought, I'm going to talk about animals for a bit. I've kept it to myself because it makes me sound a bit full of myself. I've always thought I was a bit of a dog whisperer with my dog. I've always connected to her in a way where I know when she's getting claustrophobic with like strokes. I sound a bit crazy, but I know when she's getting pissed off, when she's about to growl. I can see it in her eyes. I can see in her body language when she's feeling like claustrophobic and like not wanting to be touched. I sound like I'm trying to be like a spiritual dog whisperer. I'm not trying to do that. So yeah, basically people with BPD really do have a heightened sense of emotions compared to other people, so it's not surprising that we can pick up other people's emotions a bit more easily than other people. And so that was a study, I think, in Germany in 2012. So some people even think that BPD has gifts and comes with gifts, which at least there's that, because it's like one of the most painful disorders. So at our bests, we are highly intuitive individuals with abilities. Some psychologists think that we have the gift of personal intelligence, and this kind of gift comes with two components: interpersonal intelligence, the capacity to understand the intentions, motives and desires of other people, and the intrapersonal intelligence, the capability to understand oneself and appreciate one's feelings, fears and motivations. So I agree with this part, but I also kind of disagree. We understand ourselves, but we also have no idea who we are. We appreciate our own feelings and we are very in touch with our own feelings, but some people aren't. Some people will escape our feelings with drugs, alcohol, just eating disorders, anything. So whilst we have intense emotions and feelings, not all of us are actually appreciative and sit with our feelings like we should. I've learned to sit with my feelings. I'm not trying to escape with unhealthy coping mechanisms as much as I was. In most cases, serious difficulties in emotional regulation and BPD result two of the combining factors. So number one is being born with a heightened sensitivity and gifted with perceptivity. Because I've never had childhood trauma, I do believe I was just born with a heightened sensitivity to the world around me. A deficient childhood environment that fails to meet these children's emotional needs. So illness and mental illness is so stigmatized, and BPD just happens to be one of the most stigmatized. As you can imagine, like if you were born with intense emotions, you can kind of go either way. Some people with intense emotions want other people to feel as bad as they do. Some people with intense emotions deal with it in the best ways they can. They use their emotional intensity to help others in pain. A lot of us are activists, whether that be feminism, Black Lives Matter, animal activism. A lot of us are vegans. A lot of us just have this heightened sensitivity to justice. So I feel like with emotional intensity, you can go either way. Most of us are very sweet, generous and kind, but obviously, as you can imagine, all we have are intense emotions basically, and depending on the type of person you are, because we're all different, not all of us are the same. If you're a mean person with emotional intensity, you might want to harm others, but please don't generalise, because most of us aren't like this. And also I just want to quickly say, a lot of us are into spirituality because we are intuitive people. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you. I'm sending all my love.